PED is greater than 1, it leads to price elastic of demand. This means the percentage change in quantity demanded is greater than the percentage change in price.
Now we will talk about the graph when PED is greater than 1.
This are our axis, this is our supply curve, and this is the demand curve. When there is the price elastic of demand, the new demand graph will look flatter. When indirect tax increases, the cost of production increases. It will cause a fall in supply, thus supply curve shifts to left as the blue curve S1. The price rises from P to P1, quantity demanded falls from Q to Q1 with a larger quantity. In this case, the tax burden on producer is greater than the tax burden on consumers when there is price elastic of demand. As the graph shows, the area of the pink box is greater than the area of yellow box. Why is it so? Here is our graph, let's analyze it in more details. The price paid by consumers is P1 as shown on the graph. And the price paid by producers is P2. The total expenditure of consumers will be price OP1 times quantity Q1, which gives us OP1 EQ1. Same for total expenditure of producers, we get OP2Q1A when we multiply the respective price and quantity. As we know, the colored boxes represents the total tax revenue, consumers share the yellow part and producers share the pink part which is bigger. Well, let's see an example. If one day, the government decides to raise the indirect tax on chocolate by 10%. This 10% is our total tax revenue of consumers and producers. In this case, the producers will probably pass most of the tax to the consumers in order to gain more profit. Remember, chocolate is price elastic of demand, it is not consumer's necessity. So think about it, what will happen if the price of chocolate rises? Most likely, consumers will not purchase as much as money for chocolate, but just switch to other substitutes or wait for it to be cheaper again. In the end, the producers still share a larger proportion of tax burden. When PED is less than 1, the demand curve is much steeper compared to a normal demand curve. When a tax is imposed, the demand decreases, causing the demand curve to move to the left. This difference in the price is the value of the tax per unit. In goods with lower PEDs, the consumer takes on more burden of the tax. Since a low PED means the demand is less likely to change due to an increase in price, the producers can put their goods at a higher price. As the demand stays relatively similar, more taxes are collected instead of it decreasing. As the producers do not have to pay as much for the production cost, producers will be more willing to produce goods. The increase in tax does not limit the production of alcohol as the consumer takes on most of the burden. This results in producers being able to meet the same demand despite the tax. Alcohol is a relatively price inelastic good because heat is an addictive substance. When prices are increased, addicts often are unaffected by this. Hence, this results in more taxes being collected due to the demand being consistent due to the presence of addicts. As a conclusion, the more elastic a schedule, the more of the tax burden that will fall on the other side.